What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Recently, I've just been turning the camera on, turning the mic on, and hitting record. I have a couple ideas jotted down in my notes app on my phone that kind of come to me when I'm walking around doing my day-to-day stuff. And I've just taken one of those ideas and I want to expand on it and really dive into it to do sort of a brain dump, and to try and just keep this more of a stream of consciousness style as opposed to more formulaic and more scripted. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is me talking from the heart, sharing ideas that are crucial to me in my development and just really important to me. A lot of them being mindset shifts and frames of mind that I'm coming at the day with, along with some tips and tricks along the way. You know, there's always actionable items that you can apply from some of these. And I try to focus on that so people have, good takeaways that they can use in their own life. So today I want to talk to you about longevity and how you basically in life, you get lucky sometimes not by being the most successful or the most skilled or being able to put yourself in the right circles. You get lucky by just lasting longer than everyone, by outlasting everybody else that is trying to do what you're doing, that is searching for that stroke of luck, that is searching for that lucky break. The longer you stay in it, the luckier you get. And this is really a numbers game. If you think about it, the longer that you do something, the more opportunities that you're creating for yourself, the more chances that you get, and the better your odds get overall. And I like to think about this as a game of attrition. So I talked about this a little bit on my episode where I reflected on a year of the podcast and how there was dozens and dozens of creators that came into the space that were there for a little bit that I interacted with, and then they disappeared. They came for a couple months, they were gone. Another few came for a couple months and they were gone. And you basically, like, if you're competing for a finite audience out there, I don't want to say that you're competing because people can follow multiple accounts or they can support multiple creators and there's infinite money in the world, right? Like, we have to think with that abundance frame. But if you're in that same space as somebody, right, and you're trying to distinguish yourself, the ultimate way to distinguish yourself is to just simply be around when nobody else is around. Like, when people have come and gone and they've fallen off the horse and they're no longer in that same space as you, and you're the last one standing, and you have accumulated many, many months, years of experience and wisdom that you can share in that space, you're going to be the go-to. You're going to be that person or one of a few select people that are still around, that are still doing what you're doing, and then that attention is going to go to you. That people are going to seek out your services, they're going to seek out your experience because you positioned yourself well as the person that has the most experience, the person that has built up the most reps. You're going to be there standing at the end of it all, and be prepared to share that with people, because they'll naturally give you that credibility because you've been around longer. And I've noticed this too in the workplace, in my day job. I've been there for over 2 years now, and I've seen a lot of change. And the more the change happens, the more certain positions open up, the more positions become available in terms of that salary, that economic impact of that position opening up. Let's say someone leaves the company and they were making $90,000. Like, all of a sudden, it's like the company's no longer paying that salary, and that money is not up for grabs in a way, because sometimes they will just rehire and fill that position. But like, many times I've seen that position will stay vacant, and then that $90,000, it's like, all right, now you're probably taking on that person's workload, so you're well positioned to get that raise, to be in pole position either for a promotion or to ask for, a more substantial raise because you're probably doing more work and that position is still open. So it's a game of attrition. Stay in it as long as you possibly can. The more reps that you get, the better that you'll be. It sounds simple, but I don't think a lot of people really comprehend the one-to-one connection that there is there between just simply, in this case, turning on the mic, turning on the camera, speaking to the people, getting your public speaking skills in a level that's presentable, and continuing to form your ideas in a way that makes sense. I'm just focusing specifically on this example of running the podcast, but it applies to anything. If you're working on improving your jump shot in the gym, it's literally a numbers game. The more reps that you get from a younger age, the more that muscle memory forms, the more that it's going to come naturally to you, the easier you can get into a flow state, the more you can execute in game time. And it's impossible to not get better. If you just keep doing something over and over and over and over again, it's literally impossible to not make improvements. Most people, we're all built to learn, right? Like, human beings are naturally hardwired to learn from our surroundings, to learn from our mistakes. And some people take longer than others. Yes, that's true. That's a fact of life. Some people can learn different topics quicker, and some people have different learning styles that benefit them in certain areas. But what I'm saying is, the longer that you do something, the better you will get. It is inevitable. So get the reps in. Keep trying to do that thing that you know is uncomfortable for you, but you want to do. For me, it was getting on camera. It was speaking into this mic and speaking to the audience, and also creating content. Like, I didn't know anything about creating content. I didn't know shit about creating content. Like, it was so foreign to me. And I still don't. I think I have a lot of work to do. But the fact that when I look back, even after just running this podcast for a year, I have made some substantial improvements. I've started to invest in myself a little bit more, which I was hesitant to do in the beginning because I just didn't know how fleeting it would be, or if whether I would enjoy it or not. Invest in my development, invest in things that will give you more motivation to continue, because it looks fruitless in the beginning. You're grinding on something, you suck at it. 1, 2, you won't see results, naturally, because you're not good at it. So you don't see results. You feel inadequate as you're doing it. And then the road seems too long. You see people that have been doing it for many, many years, and they look like they're light years ahead of you. And so you're like, fuck, that triple threat right there, that triple whammy will literally kill your career in anything, or kill your hobby, whatever you're trying to do, before it even starts. And you have to push past that barrier. That barrier is just, it's temporary. Once you get the reps in, you stay consistent with it for a extended period of time. Usually it's 1 to 5 years, to actually become expert level. And that's, the 10,000 hours is thrown around a lot, but 10,000 hours is about five years of working on something, working full time at it. And, to get there, you just have to be willing to outlast your self-doubt and outlast everybody else that's in the same space as you, to put yourself in pole position to be that expert, to be the fucking guy for that. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. Fight against that attrition, stay in it, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting the reps up. No matter what you're doing, you will get better. If you keep getting the reps up, you keep doing something consistently, you will get there. I promise.